Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we have a really notorious lock, the ASSA Twin 6K, this time with gin bottle spools. Now, I have picked this lock in the past, maybe a year ago. It was one of the first black belt locks I picked, but it was the barrel version, so I wanted to kind of revisit it because it's a really fun pick and do the gin bottle version this time. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the internals. We have the key, of course, dual bitting there. You can see the one for the sidebar or for the side pins on the side, and for the main stack on the top. We have the plug. This is a knob in key version, or key in knob, the kick version, basically. So the plug looks like this, and we can see pretty restrictive keyway, but nothing where you couldn't stick a 18,000 speak in. We can see some drill protection and 6 pin chambers, which of course have the corresponding gin milling. It's basically a deep pocket milled into the side of the chamber, and this is the space where the lips of the gin bottle spool drivers get stuck. Now, it's pretty normal for the Twin 6Ks to not have any nailing in chamber 3, and this is the case. So basically what that changes on the feedback is that the gin bottle basically behaves like a normal spool, so it can be pushed out without any manual counter rotation. We also have the slot for the sidebar, and under it we can see some chambers for the side pins. Alright, so let's take a look at these pins. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what the Twin 6K looks like and what does it work, how does it work, but yeah, I was just looking for the tweezers. So we have normal key pins, nothing too exciting about them, and for drivers we have gin bottle spools. You can see the sharp lip at the bottom, and that's the part of the pin that gets stuck into the milling, and that's what makes this lock difficult. So 6 gin bottle spools, but as I mentioned, this third one behaves like a normal spool because there's no milling in the chamber. We have the side pins, so these are all identical. You can see the true gate right in the middle and the false gates above and below. So all of these have the true gate in the middle, and that's because the code for the sidebar is in the sidebar itself. So if we take a closer look, you can see that the fence or the height of these fences are different, and that's the code to the sidebar basically. So this is how they do the sidebar in the 6K. Which is pretty cool. Alright, so some springs, and about the housing there's not too much exciting about it. As I mentioned, this is the kick cylinder, so cuttable from the top, and inside the housing we can see this slot for the sidebar. So how do you pick these things? Well, it's a 3-step process basically. So I will give you like a general rundown of how does it work. Of course, I need to mention that the order in which you are doing these steps is not always the same. So most of the time you first push these gins into the milling. This is basically very similar like setting standard pins. So you feel some resistance, you click the pin, and that's all you do with it. So if you do that for all of these pins, if you get all of the pins into the milling, you will get a full set. Now, usually what happens is the sidebar starts to bind. And if you are to pick this 6K or any other ASSA Twin lock with the side pins on the left side of the keyway, please do yourself a favor and pick it counterclockwise. I did not know this when I was picking the barrel version of the Twin 6K, and what ends up happening if you go clockwise is basically you are tensioning the lock in the same direction like you are rotating your flag, okay? So if you want to set the side pins, you are basically doing a clockwise motion with your flag or whatever you are using for setting them. And that's a mistake. That's the same mistake like picking dimple locks or rotating the flag in dimple locks in the same direction like you are tensioning, because you are adding to the tension, you are locking that side pin into its place by going the same direction of like the tensioning direction, right? So you are basically fighting against your own tensioner. So, and it's possible to pick it like it, of course, but it's a real challenge, and that's why I was struggling with the 6K with the barrels in the past. I didn't know this. So go counterclockwise. You will have a much easier time with the side pins, trust me. So let's continue with the process. That was just like a small piece of advice. After you set the jeans into milling, you start picking the side pins. So I was using this multi-pick number 7 flag. Some people use custom tools or even hooks. It's really up to you. There's plenty of space on the bottom of the keyway, so really what works best for you, you can choose. So picking the side pins is not a rocket science. You just push them up when they're binding, and if they are in a through gate, they will have a little movement or a little wheel if you tap on them. Now you may need to sort of float pick, I guess, some of these side pins, or at least control and release tension in a controlled motion, because at one point you will get a deeper fall set as you pick the side pins, and then it will become difficult just to force these up. So you will have to slowly start releasing tension. The sidebar will help you with counter rotation, and to set the side pin you just need to tap on it. Keep tapping, and as soon as you feel that it has some wheel, or you pushed it up, you will just reapply tension and you have it one gate up basically. What I like to do is tap on the side pin while releasing tension, and as soon as I feel that it moved a little up, I reapply tension and I try to lean the sidebar or the fence of the sidebar against this protrusion that is between the gates. So that locks the side pins in place, and then I just click it up. You will see it in the video. So that way I feel like I have more control over the movement, and I prevent some oversetting of the side pins. As soon as you set the side pins, you will feel that all of them are loose. The last part of the pick, or the usually last part, comes, and that's setting the jeans out of the milling. Now there are many videos how to do it, so I will not go into too much of detail, but the nice thing about this lock is that you have this sidebar to do the counter rotation for you, so you do not need like the 2 tensioner setup like in ASSA 700, let's say. You will just need to release tension in a very controlled way and keep tapping on the jeans from the bottom until you feel they are out of the milling, and then just reapply tension. So as I said, there are many videos, very good videos by great pickers how to do this, so that's basically all I will say about this. But yeah, if you do this correctly, that's the last step and you will get the lock open. So basically a 3-step process. Maybe some of these steps can be like in a different order, but usually it goes like this. Alright, so one last thing I will mention is for picking it, I was using the, as I said, multi-pick number 7. That works really good even for high lifts. You may kinda use it like a hook for the max lifts, because it's not that big, but it was enough for me. And for setting the main pins, I have this Peterson number 7, is it? Yes. And for some of these high lifts, or most of them, I was using this number, what is it, 5? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 5, number 5. Okay, so these two in 18 thousandths work really good for this lock. So I recommend using this combo, but maybe we'll find something that fits better for you. Okay guys, so thanks for watching the introduction, and let's go ahead with the pick. Alright, let's go. It works. So let's go with counterclockwise tension and start driving those jeans into the milling, which is pretty much the same like picking standard pins. Nothing too fancy about it. Okay, one little false set, so we have all of the jeans in the milling. Still with the sidebar now. Alright, that's the sidebar picked, and now let's drive those jeans out of the milling. So there's 2. And it felt a little weird, but it feels loose now. 3. 4. 'll take this hook for the back pins actually. Okay, I dropped something from the sidebar. You could hear it. 5 is good now. 6 is good. Let's check the sidebar. I'm pretty sure something dropped there. Yeah, it was 4. Got him set, and 5 as well. Got him set. And now there should be only 1 remaining. Okay, I set him, but the lock is not open, so let's find where is the last unset gene. So release some tension, and the step on them 2 is good. 3 as well. 4 should be good. Okay, 5, I think. 5 is not set. Okay, now he is. Maybe something dropped in the sidebar. Okay, it was 5. Alright, so we have an open, so let's get this real quick. Okay, so this is a really convenient lock to get, this format, because there are like this, there is this crimped metal plate on the top, which allows me to remove those drivers and key pins in a very elegant way. Okay, so the springs go out. Come on. And 2. So let's start upping the pins. There's one, the key pin, 2, I will rearrange them afterwards, 3 driver and 3 key pin, 4 driver and key pin, 5 and 6. Okay, I'm just gonna rearrange this real quick. Alright, it looks better. And now we can remove the core, but first this clips goes off, and insert the key so no side pins launch into the outer space. Okay, so here's the sidebar and its springs. Okay, now I can remove the side pins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and the springs. Almost got them. So there's still one stuck inside. There he goes. Perfect. We have the lock peak now. Okay, I got it. So let me show you the chin milling. Indeed, it's present. In all chambers except for 3, which is pretty normal for the 6K. And maybe we can do, we cannot, I don't know, I will just show it like this. Okay, side pins, sidebar, and jeans. Cool. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the pick, and I will see you soon, I hope, with another video. Have a nice day and see ya.